Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it. Welcome back, everybody, to What's the 411 News. In today's news headlines, Black Americans and physical fitness. All right? We want to make sure that all the Black Americans become more physically fit, more healthy, because as you guys know, as we reported in the past, there is a big issue and a big problem with medical apartheid in the U.S. when it comes to Black Americans being mistreated in the hospitals, misdiagnosed, all right? Given the wrong medications, as we reported here. There was a 74-year-old lady who was given the wrong medication. And so it seems to be very important. I shouldn't even say more important than ever. It's always been more important. It's just that we haven't figured out or realized how bad it's gotten for Black Americans when they have to go to the hospital, get treated for things. They're more mistreated, and Black women get looked at, which is always a going debate when it comes to Black women saying they're strong. We're strong. And so you got to be careful with your words, because when you go into hospitals, they're going to look at a lot of you Black American women as strong. And so when they sticking you with needles and pulling you every which way and doing everything with you, they're going to just chop it up as, oh, she's all right. She's not in pain. She's strong. And so you got to be real careful about that, about the wording. There needs to be more explanation if you're going to start using those words or continue using those words about you being a strong Black woman. Because when they have you in them hospitals, they're going to treat you like a strong Black woman. All right? So that, along with kids, there is a big thing with trying to kill off Black American babies, Black American children. And maybe in another report, we'll talk deeper to that regard. But there is a big thing out here in the medical field, the field of medicine, the hospitals. You have Black immigrants becoming more and more doctors, and we all know the history when it comes to Black immigrants coming over here from Africa, from the Caribbean. They don't treat Black Americans too well in the hospitals, right? And so we got to consider our physical fitness, our health, all right? So yeah, let's take a look at this article, all right, in regards to the Black community and physical fitness, okay? So the importance of physical fitness in the Black community, and I say the Black American community specifically. So National Physical Fitness and Sports Month highlights the importance of physical activity to achieve and maintain a balanced well-being. While good health is a standard goal for all, health statistics show that Black Americans suffer alarming disparities of several chronic conditions, underscoring the importance of educational resources and access to physical fitness and training in Black communities. And while I was reading that, a thought came to mind. There are a lot of Black women, unfortunately, Black American women, whether I go to the gyms or out and about, I say it's a mix because when I go for walks sometime, I've seen some black women doing their little running or they fast walking, and some of them looking in real good shape. And others are, depending on what standards you're looking at as far as looking fit, but they're still out there doing something. But then there's others who just want to let themselves go. I've seen a little of that as well. All right, so it is concerning, but I'm seeing, like I said, I'm seeing a mixture of it. It's not like I'm seeing more of one and less of the other. It's a little 50-50 mix, maybe 60-40 mix of some women getting out here, black American women getting out here and doing a thing. And then there's others that are just kind of disregarding it, pushing it to the side. And then down the road, they're having to go see a doctor because they kept pushing it to the side. All right. It's just a thought I was thinking about when I go out and about sometimes, whether I go to the gym or go for a walk. It's just some things I've been observing. I do observe some black American women in the gyms. A lot of them go to Planet Fitness, it seems. But there's other gyms out there that I've been to in the past and I've seen them out there. So there are some in shape and working on getting better, more physically fit. So it seems like it's a almost an even mix. And the ratios need to change, you know? It needs to go up. It need to be 70, 80, 90% black American women out there getting their physical fitness on and less not doing it. Because like I said, one of the main things is to keep you from even having to go to the hospital and being medically apartheided in the hospitals, if you know what I'm saying. If you get what I'm saying. All right. So yeah, let's continue on with this article. So again, while good health is a standard goal for all, health statistics show that Black Americans suffer alarming disparities of several chronic conditions, underscoring the importance of educational resources and access to physical fitness and training in Black communities. Black Americans have some of the highest risk of developing several chronic diseases in comparison to their white counterparts. I don't know, but anyway, we'll continue. Specifically regarding heart disease, stroke, asthma, and various types of cancer. Further, Black women represent a disproportionate percentage of health diagnoses, including obesity, diabetes, and health disease. And one more thing before we continue on. Another thing that comes to mind is another reason for staying healthy is because we all know, whether it gets publicly admitted or not, we notice the patterns. Just like I'm not the best chess player, I'm probably the weakest, but I understand the concepts of chess, and I can use the concepts. I play human chess really well. Maybe not the board game, but human chess I play very well. I understand the concepts of it. All right, and so it's seeming like, in regards to this disproportionate percentage health diagnosis, including obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Another reason to stay healthy is because, like I was saying, we all know that there's a big attempt to remove a lot of people from the planet, if you will. And there's been many tactics that were being used, and there's many tactics and strategies being planned to use to get rid of specific groups of people. All right. And we all know what the pandemic was like. A lot of people left us from the pandemic. And because of that, it needs to be even more of a reason to go on and get yourself as physically fit as possible. And we're not talking about busting it out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. You got to do the best you can for where you're at the time. And the more you improve, the more you continue in up the levels. All right. If you haven't done stuff in years, start walking. You might want to walk for 5 minutes, then increase it the next week to 10, then increase it the next week to 15, and so on and so on until you can reach 30 minutes and do 30 minutes a day. That'll do a lot for you. And then somewhere along the lines, you might want to incorporate some light weights into it. And if you're getting real froggy, if you will, then you might want to increase the weights. All right. Work in increments, step by step. So this is something I was, thinking about as well. All right. So we'll go ahead and continue with the article. So, notwithstanding the enormous benefits of physical activity, Black American women are more likely to be less physically active than their white counterparts, according to the National Library of Medicine. That's according to. That doesn't mean it's set in stone or it's golden, but you might want to go look up the National Library of Medicine. You can get some information from them and start doing research. All right. About 38% of non-Hispanic 38% of non-Hispanic Black women against 23% of non-Hispanic white women had reported little or no participation in leisure time physical activity. As a consequence, this population is burdened with high risk and prevalence of chronic disease. Another thought came to me before we continue on. As you can see, this means something to me because a lot of things is coming to me as I'm reading. I once watched a Neely Fuller Jr. interview, and he was talking about, some of you guys might even watch this as well. He was talking about family reunions and how the family reunions should be more of a problem-solving get-together than just partying and drinking and carrying on. Or at least you can do all of that and then have a problem-solving session. And he mentioned something about, maybe the first time you have, or the next time you have your family reunion, maybe everybody sit down and I think he was explaining like there might be some people in the families that come that's overweight. And so he said that maybe everybody could sit down and start coming up or talk about, hey, such and such having, cousin such and such having this issue with her weight, or uncle so and so having this issue with his health. And then the next time you come back, sit down and say, well, hey, let's all come up with some ideas on how we can improve our health. All right? On how we can improve our health, right? And come up with some ideas. And the next time you have your family reunion, you guys can give up the ideas on the next family reunion as to how each person individually might have an individual plan for each person. So everybody come up with one or two ideas for each person's health issues. So the next time you come back, we'll say, hey, for you, we thought you need to do this, do a little more exercising. This person might need to eat more healthier foods. Hey, cousin such and such is a personal trainer. They're going to go on, hey, we're going to get on Zoom and do some workouts, or come up with some more specific plans for each person, or give you a nutrition plan. So that's just something to throw out there to help people get a little bit better, improving their health. All right. This is something that just came to mind. So let's continue on. All right. The adverse pattern of inactivity has even affected today's youth, as experts show young people are more occupied with technology than exercise and playing outside. Due to the increasing rate of industrialization, and the emergence of sophisticated technology, there is a relative decrease in physical activity and an overwhelming increase sedentary lifestyle, chronic disease, morbidity, and mortality. All right. The National Library of Medicine reported. In addition, childhood obesity has become a more common concern among Black American youth, with juvenile obesity rates nearly doubling that of their white counterparts at 24.8% compared to 16.6%, all right, of non-Hispanic white children. All right, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So, barriers to physical activity. All right. So while popularized, sports like basketball or football are a significant part of physical leisure and entertainment in many Black communities, rates of inactivity often rises among adults as they age out of high school or college leagues. Often, barriers to physical activity prevent many people from exercise. Today, less than half of all Americans live within a half mile of a park. Tens of millions of children do not have access to a playground within a 10-minute walk of their home. Cash-strapped schools are too often cutting physical education programs. Youth sports leagues can be expensive, leaving too many kids with few options. The United States of America can do better, said President Joe Biden. And here we go with old Joe, like he knows. All right, in a declaration for National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. In addition, some of the unique barriers for Black Americans include family responsibilities, body image perception, and even hair care concerns, particularly for Black women when working out. Moreover, environmental and public safety challenges facing some Black communities, such as pollution and violence, make it difficult for some people to even walk or run in their neighborhoods. So they're saying environmental and public safety challenges, yeah, that could be facing some Black communities, such as pollution and violence, make it difficult for some people to even walk or run in their neighborhoods. So you don't necessarily have to walk and run in your neighborhood. You can always get with some other folks. There's always, first of all, there's always different ideas you can come up with. You can come up with 5 to 10 different ideas on how you can find a way to get somewhere and get your walk on from an environment that might be not as safe, or the environmental conditions might not be the best of the best. All right. So there's always a way to get it done, because when it's something you really want to do, you'll find a way no matter what to get it done. So that same importance, if it's something that don't really do you no good and you want to do that, you'll find a way to do it. That's just being real. That's just facts. You don't care what conditions you in, you'll find your way to the club if that's where you want to go to. You'll find the money to get to the club. Well, use the same energy and keep the same importance for your health. All right, just keep it the same, give it the same energy as you give to going to this club or buying this thing over here you shouldn't be eating or smoking. Give your health that same energy. All right, put the same energy in when it comes to your health. Okay, so again, in addition, some of the unique barriers for Black Americans include family responsibilities, body image perception, and even hair care concerns, particularly for Black women when working out. Moreover, environmental and public safety challenges facing some Black communities, such as pollution and violence make it difficult for some people to even walk or run in their neighborhoods. These social and intrapersonal barriers can hamper attempts at implementing behavioral challenges and encouraging health and fitness progress. All right, so physical activity key to life. All right, physical activity key to life. Whether aiming to lose weight, reduce anxiety, or improve one's physique, a successful fitness program requires consistency and proper knowledge to achieve our physical fitness. Again, whether aiming to lose weight or just to reduce anxiety or improve one's physique, their body shape, their look, a successful fitness program requires consistency and proper knowledge to achieve our physical goals. So yeah, uh there's some truth to that. Being consistent and having the proper information. And sometimes it's a thing where you need to just go ahead and start something, whether it's just walking, and you want to continue doing that. And like I said, increase the increments of how long you walk. Start 10 minutes for the week. You might do 10 minutes for the second week. All right. And then increased on the third week, 15 minutes, and then so on and so forth. And then monitor, engage how you're feeling the more you walk, what you're looking, how's your body looking, how's your clothes fitting, and you can kind of get information from that as well. All right. These are just some ideas you guys can do. Okay. So outside of the gym, moderate to high intensity activities, including running, um, walking, weightlifting, aerobic exercises, and yoga are commonly associated with improved body weight, cardiovascular health, body mass index or BMI, and overall well being. The physical benefits of exercise are true healing modality to bolstering health outcomes and strengthening the livelihood of the Black community. Okay. While proper nutrition and diet lead as the foundation of sustainable health, physical fitness is a principal component of positive outcomes when considering healthy blood pressure levels, a balanced BMI, muscle density, and cardiovascular health, respiratory and mental health. In 1894, Mary P. Evans wrote in a Black woman's magazine called Women's Era that exercise, quote, enables you to keep in the best condition for work with the hands or with the brain. It prepares you to meet disappointment, sorrow, ill treatment, and great suffering as the strong, courageous, and splendid women meets them. All right. So there we have it. Okay. But in that, she mentioned strong. And like I said, you got to be careful with using the word strong because you're going to get treated as such when it comes to the hospitals. Again, medical apartheid towards Black Americans, mistreating them in the hospitals, giving them the wrong medicines, giving them the wrong diagnosis, saying they have this illness when they never had it to begin with. All right, and educate yourselves on those things regarding the hospitals and procedures and different things they might give you. Ask other Black nurses you might know, doctors, Black American. Start asking questions and taking notes. So if you or anybody else in your family ever has to go to the hospital, you're kind of equipped with knowledge, because also part of that, excuse me for a second, part of that also goes to the financial side of things. I would also add the financial side of medical apartheid. When you're getting certain procedures done and all of a sudden you get these bills in the mail or in the email, I'm looking at that as medical apartheid as well. So to try to avoid all of that, start getting yourself in more physically fit. Change up some of your habits. Change up some of your eating habits. You know, you might want to still eat the cookies, the chips, the cake every now and then. Take a break from that. You know, you can do it maybe on a weekend or a couple of days a week and start throwing in a few fruits with your dinners. You know, let the fruits be your dessert instead of the cakes and cookies and the chips sometimes. You know, mix it up a little bit. And the more you do that, disciplining yourself to do that, then you'll start getting into the habit and start liking the fact that, hey, I actually like eating these fruits either with my dinner or right after I finish. I want to eat some fruit instead of a cake or some cookies. Pick the fruits that you like. You know, start off with that. All right. So that's just some ideas of what you can do to start getting yourself in better physical condition. And always, you know, get with other people, man. Get information from each other. From people who are fit. Get with them, ask them how do they do it, what do they do, ask them how can you improve. You know, you might have family members who are into that, personal trainers, or they keep themselves in pretty good shape. And so you might want to ask some tips from them. All right. So yeah, so before we get out of here real quick, since we are hitting into the summer months, all right, we want to just remind you about heat exhaustion. All right. All right. Keep that in mind. You got the heat exhaustion, the different symptoms of that, and heat stroke. Okay. High fever, flushed skin, confusion or loss of consciousness when it comes to heat strokes. Those are the things to keep in mind when heat exhaustion, pale appearance, weakness, fainting, headache. All right. So make sure you take a look at this and keep those things in mind, because we are heading into those months where it's getting hot now, nausea, muscle cramps. When it comes to heat exhaustion, you need to cool off and drink plenty of fluids. I say drink plenty of water when it comes to that heat exhaustion. All right. So keep yourself safe this summer. Be aware what you can do with heat exhaustion and the symptoms and signs of heat exhaustion and the symptoms and signs of heat stroke. All right. So keep those things in mind, man. And keep your family safe as well. Okay? We appreciate y'all. As always, let us know what you think about this one. This is What's the 411 News. And we gone. Peace.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.